Welcome to everyone in the room. Welcome to everyone online to the Basalt Town Council meeting on November 26th. Quick reminder, to access the meeting online, you can go to www.basalt.net. Under the Agenda and Minutes tab, click on the November 26th, 2024 meeting packet to open. On the meeting access instruction page, click the link to join the webinar. Public comments are timed and limited to 3 minutes. Pam, can we get the call to order?
Sure. I'll go ahead and, sorry, I need to move this over here. Okay. All right, so roll call, I guess. We will start with Angela Anderson. Yeah, thanks, Angela. Rick Stevens.
Here.
Anna Berman.
Here.
Ryan Slack.
Here.
David and Dieter, I don't see online. I'm gonna guess that they're probably not here, and Angel is not here for sure, so. Have a quorum, sir.
Okay. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda items from November 12th, 2024.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Mayor, I move that the town council approve the consent agenda items as presented.
I mean, that's basically a motion and a second, I would say. 2 motions. Count double. We'll take it. Now, we're going to make a call to the public. If you're online, please raise your hand. I see only one person maybe that wants to. Oh, no, that's the guy that's, never mind, Joel. You'll be coming up. Anyone in the audience? Going once, going twice. Okay, we will close the public comment. Mayor and council reports. I don't really have anything. I mean, I'd compliment Boyd and his crew with all the snow removal. It's probably been a pretty busy 24 hours and another busy 24, so thank you, it's looking good.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the staff that's here.
I'd just like to give a shout out to Wiley from Stutzman.
Oh,
I was out Friday night by the barber shop watching those guys under the lights put the finishing touches on getting that intersection done. And the guy is always there. He had a shovel in his hand, shoveling road base, hooking up those Jersey barriers to the excavator, setting them. He was right in there with the crew. And it's just awesome to see. I got some nice videos I'll send to you. But maybe we could get him a sticker for his hard hat or something. More than a sticker, but he's a rock star, that guy. He really is. So it was fun watching him. Yeah, thanks.
Nice.
Winter conditions. It's just so much fun. That's it. Managers?
anyway, yeah, manager's report. Manager's not here, we're gonna skip that. Okay, early. Let's go. Midland Avenue Streetscape Project Update. I was looking for this last week. I didn't know it was every other week. Come on.
You missed this, I
I
heard.
did. I was like, what's up?
Well, Joe wanted to beat the weather, so he's online, but I'm here as well.
There he
And
is.
we're just here to present you our monthly update, only once a month. Joe, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I can do that. Just a sound check before I blather on. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, we just lost
Is
the
it-
Zoom.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
jeez, technology.
Well, what the heck?
Like my Zoom doctor's appointment this morning. Couldn't get the link.
Well, I'm off. Let me see if I can get back
Texting the
on.
doctor.
Just a minute. Pam, I'll get in real quick here.
Okay. Oh. Oh, goody.
Thanks for the update.
Hey, Joe, we lost you there for a little bit.
I don't know if he can hear us.
Anyway, we are still moving along. Obviously, you guys are out there today. I was up in town today, but then now, Catherine said, they're still doing pavers, still doing plantings. We are planting dormant, which is okay. About landscapes is giving us assurance that anything that suffers mortality will be replaced in the spring, so we will be expecting that. Yeah, otherwise, business as usual. You guys saw in the agenda packet that for, I guess, risks and budget stuff, but no budget adjustments or change orders since change order 4. One thing we're
Sound
noting is
coming
that
out of there.
for all the work we did to get the entire lighting back in place, we suffered another delay. We have details, raw materials, and all that stuff. We got
Settings?
delayed, lead times and global market demands and such, but those are now expected to arrive in February, and that's a complete package. So, looking forward to seeing those in, but in the interim, we did reserve and replace 6 of the original lights. So, we do have that in place for the holiday season.
Mr. Speaker.
Hey, Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I've got you now.
The start of your presentation got cut off. We caught you at something about
Where
paving.
did you pick me up?
Yeah, so just a quick recap of the end of the street and the paving is, I think, what we caught the end of.
Yeah, sorry, I did a sound check and nobody responded, so my apologies. But I'm just going to start over, but I'll kind of condense it for our purposes tonight. I was just talking about the huge milestone. All of what we're describing as the primary paving activities were completed on November 15th and 16th, and that was a massive effort. I'm sure you saw everybody out there working long hours to get that done. It was sidewalks, flush curbs, everything in place, valley pans, crosswalks to receive the asphalt. So that was a big celebration, and actually we'll look at some of the pictures as we get down there. But now we're finishing up all of the small stuff, the rest of the electrical infrastructure, the conduits. Rocky Mountain Landscapes is still doing plantings. They are planting dormant plants, obviously, this time of year. But we expect that most of them will survive, and the ones that don't will be replaced. And project substantial completion is still on track for the end of this year. So feeling good about that. The one thing worth mentioning, because it's been mentioned the last 5 council meetings, is the lighting package was delayed by poles. We expect the entire package in February now, but as a stopgap measure, we reserved and placed 6 of the original street lights to give some illumination for the holiday season. I actually think you guys were talking about putting the Christmas lights on there at the start of the meeting. So financially, still in really good shape. No budget adjustments, no change orders since change order 4 2 councils ago. Still have plenty of our contingency in place, and we're looking really good, guys, for the finish line on this project.
Yeah,
Do you think you'll blacktop those last areas, or will we have road base for
that's the
winter?
goal. Yeah, the goal is to blacktop. Will be, if we are able to do so, it'll be a bit of an innovative method. So that's the goal. The goal.
Hot patches?
What's that? No, more than that. There's a method that I will probably botch if I try to explain it, but there is a form of paving that's used in the desert in more remote locations where they don't have asphalt batch plants nearby, where they basically heat the mill because it's really just a mill and overlay up there. So they'll heat the mill on site and then put it back down. So it'll be pretty neat if we can pull it off. It'll be very weather dependent, and everyone's fingers need to be crossed for it to happen, but it remains the goal to have that paved by the end of the year.
Yeah. You bringing that big waffle iron up The big,
Um,
you seen that thing?
I've not heard
Big
a
waffle
waffle iron mentioned yet, but could
A
be.
wide, 10-foot square, and it
Yeah,
throws heat down when you mill it, and it,
yeah.
you know,
That sounds like what's been described to me, but
yeah, pretty cool.
I'll let you know when it happens, and you can, bless you, and you can come watch. It'll be a unique experience.
Sounds fun.
Richard, is actually a infrared heat process, so it's not new, but it's not commonly used. Let's just say in basalt. But yeah, it's a very well-established process
Yeah.
for remote locations. If you're taking asphalt from Grand Junction, which is where it's going to come from, so.
So,
Compliments to the team, I think it's looking awesome for a lot of things.
good,
Everyone around town, so
good, that's great.
glad we made it this far.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
And I don't know, do you guys want to go through the pictures?
Oh, yeah, let's go through the pictures.
Sorry, James.
They look great.
Oh, I think when we lost Zoom, we may have lost the pictures.
I can bring it
That's all
up
right.
unless, Joe, you want to show them from your screen, from your computer?
Do you have it nearby, Joe?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
Let me see if I have this power. Ooh, I do have the power. Can you guys see my
Yes.
screen now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's kind of funny. Wiley, the superintendent from Stutzman, was on top of the Core Logos building taking these. So we had a human drone. That's looking west. Immediately after the paving, got some leaf fall on the asphalt. Sun was dipping, yeah. So that's the crosswalk, Sotheby's. Just looking west at all the new stuff. So this is all the curbs, the valley pans, everything they had to get in place prior to the asphalt placement. Huge effort. Tell me to slow down, anyone, if you guys want to spend more time on a picture. But yeah, so looking east here, CCY, Riverwalk, everything up the hill. I got a close up here. This is the drive lane to Boone and St. Vincent's. Yeah, similar thing, looking down. Crosswalks, asphalt in place. Sotheby's is hovering over here. Here's the pony. Yeah, then some close-ups. So this is looking east, Basalt Mountain Inn, all the new pavers, getting stuff ready for plantings. Actually, the majority of this is planted out now. Yeah, this is just me standing center of the street, Core Logos, Sotheby's, last week. After the first bit of precip we received. Yeah, okay, so this is the entry to Boone and St. Vincent's, looking east, Riverwalk across the street. Oh, here I am, just closer. The inn's right here. Actually, have the sign back up now. Yeah, this whole bed's planted out now.
You stay over
Celebrate planting some trees. Good people, Sotheby's, but getting some of the more mature 3-4 inch trees in. Looking east. And then yeah, front of Riverwalk, doing preparatory work for the next and final batch of paving. I think that's the last one.
Any other questions?
I have a quick one, Catherine, about the center cross pan. It's flat up at that top end on the east end. Is that because of the cross slopes coming in?
Yeah, the grading gets really tight, as you can imagine. Like, The example I always use is at Brick Pony, there's a step to get into that building, whereas where Good People used to be, you know, the grade is all the way down right at their window. And so to get that center draining to work through that section, we had to actually, the drainage truly is kind of at the edge of parking. And that's why we have that valley pan at the edge of parking there, but it still all gets into that storm system that is, you know, in the center of the road, yeah. So there is a lateral and a couple spots to grab those low points. Just with the grade differential between the north and south side, it was really tight and complicated in a few
So
spots.
if you'd made that any more of an invert, it would have been that much harder, I guess.
Yeah, you wouldn't have ADA accessibility, and that was obviously one of the goals.
Cool.
Mhm. Yeah. But it seems to be working, which is great.
Yeah, I'm just
Verified today.
watching that evolve.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, thank you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, appreciate it, Ryan. Thanks, council members. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Joe.
Okay, on to council actions. First one is 7A, resolution number 48, series of 2024. A resolution of the town council of Basalt, Colorado, approving a construction contract for water system repair. And we have Catherine once again.
So last winter, right before we did that major shutdown for the Midland project, if you'll recall, we had to shut down a major portion of the water system in downtown Basalt. And the day before it happened, a pretty critical valve broke when we were just exercising the valve. So in a somewhat emergent situation, we had to install 2 valves so that we could continue as planned with this, you know, highly anticipated 24-hour shutdown. So today, we're back to you looking to fix that valve. Because that valve has been in a temporary condition since last year, actually Jimbo's has had a temporary water service, and one of our hydrants has been out, and, you know, the fire department's been all aware of that, but everyone's been very gracious and accommodating, knowing that this was a temporary situation. So tonight we're bringing to you a contract to not just fix the valve, but it's a rather complicated water system as it works just in front of traffic there around Two Rivers Road. So we'll be simplifying some of the routing of the water line itself, adding a new fire hydrant, and doing that work, you know, all to the benefit of the overall system. So tonight we're bringing to you this contract. It's for $130,000 with Stutzman Gerbaz. The benefit to doing this work, both with Stutzman Gerbaz and now, is they're, you know, intimately familiar with our waterworks through this area, and I think we'll have a real benefit in working with him. There's also a timeliness piece. We have a really high water table in this part of town, and if we're able to do it in the winter, we won't be faced with dewatering costs. So we will have some winter condition costs, but not to the extent that we would have dewatering if we were to do it at other times of the year. So this work will, weather dependent, will probably occur in January. It'll be about a 2 to 3 week project, not too long. But the hope is to get that done in January. I think it's especially important to get it done in a timely manner, knowing that the Basalt Center Circle building will be going through redevelopment, and we don't want to make sure that, that we don't need to be involved in, you know, their timing and scheduling, and that everything is ready for them to go when they're prepared to do so. And I'm happy to answer any questions you all have tonight or over this draft contract.
Is this mostly over just right here?
It's right in front of traffic, basically,
On that.
on Two Rivers Road, yeah.
Where is it?
Right in front of traffic on Two Rivers Road.
Oh, traffic, the store.
The store, sorry, yeah, that's probably a bit confusing. Yeah, it's basically from the entry to traffic or the ski company building to the intersection, but not going into the intersection.
Is it under the road or is it in the right of way?
It's in this, both in the sidewalk and in the road, so we'll be bringing the
Oh, I know
water
that
line.
hydrant is that you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll be bringing the water line out into the asphalt, so it'll be more accessible for the future. But the existing line that we're abandoning is actually in the sidewalk. And we'll have to remove some of that sidewalk to see what the water leak may have undermined and make sure that the sidewalk is structural moving forward, so. Any questions? No? Great.
It's a lot of paperwork for $130,000 job.
Yeah.
Any motions?
Mayor, I move that the town council adopt resolution number 48, series of 2024.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Pam, please call the roll.
Absolutely. Let's begin with Ryan Slack,
Yes.
Hannah Berman,
Yes.
Angela Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you, and Rick Stevens.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Drive safe, Catherine.
Okay, next, we're going to move on to 7B, a public hearing and second reading for ordinance number 23, series of 2024. Ordinance of the Town Council of Basalt, Colorado, approving a minor subdivision to adjust the Alpine Bank property lines to incorporate a portion of the Alpine Bank property into the Midland Avenue right-of-way, 137 Midland Avenue, Basalt, Colorado. James.
Thank you. As the mayor indicated, this is a public hearing and second reading of an ordinance that would approve of a minor subdivision to adjust the Alpine Bank property lines at 137 Midland Avenue. And it would be to incorporate a portion of the Alpine Bank property into the Midland Avenue right-of-way. The portion that would be incorporated into the Midland Avenue right-of-way is a portion that includes Midland Avenue streetscape improvements, and Alpine Bank wanted that incorporated into the town's right-of-way, and so we've proposed a minor subdivision. The applicants are both the town and Alpine Bank, and ultimately a plat would be recorded if the ordinance is approved. And there'd be a easement dedicated for the access way into Alpine Bank. The town attorney has reviewed the ordinance and recommends approval of it. This evening, staff would recommend taking any public comments because it's a public hearing, providing council discussion, and if you're comfortable with it, you could approve the ordinance on second reading.
Awesome. Thank you, James.
Sure.
It is 6:26. I'll open the public hearing. There was one other attendee, but I don't know if that's just Angela.
It's Greg.
Oh, it's Greg still. Hi, Greg. Any public comment? No. I will close the public comment at 6:27 and open it up to council comments or motions.
Seems pretty straightforward. Mayor, I move that the town council adopt ordinance number 23, series of 2024 on second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Pam, please
Okay.
call the roll.
Absolutely. Let's begin with Angela Anderson,
Yes.
Rick Stevens,
Yes.
Ryan Slack,
Yes.
and Hannah Berman.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Great job, everyone. We'll move on to 7C, resolution number 49, series of 2024. A resolution of the Town Council of Basalt, Colorado, approving the expenditure of community enhancement funds from Holy Cross Energy. Doug.
Yes, thank you. Right. I'm filling in here for Michelle Tebow. She would normally present this, but this is another straightforward, I think, in my view, resolution. This is one of our restricted funds that was established by Holy Cross for the purpose of actually a number of different wide aperture of uses, beautification projects, acquisition of open space, upgrades to technology, scholarship funds, energy conservation projects. So that's listed in the memo. There's 7 different ways this money can be used. Right now, what we're looking for is approval for the 2025 budget for these funds to be used specifically for our core project in developing building IQ programs to benchmark and track energy use. So it's intended to address emissions from existing buildings by first benchmarking energy usage and then secondly establishing building performance standards for existing buildings. So the amount we're looking for is $45,000 as a resolution.
So will all that be going to court?
And well, core, remember, it was we had used it like it's a fee-for-service arrangement now with core. It used to, right, so yes, it would all be for, yes, to answer your question.
I just didn't know the split between core and then some of the.
No, it's all going to core.
Buildings are about 2/3 of the region's carbon emissions, so I feel like it's a good use of dollars to target those emissions. You can take my word for it,
Take your word for it.
or fact check, you know.
Rick, you got anything?
No, I mean, there's always been the conversation on the Willits Field. The rugby goals were set up by Holy Cross under the same program a long, long time ago, but they're shortened up the field, so there's been a lot of requests to move them back to get a full-size field, so, yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting, you gotta talk to Post, maybe. Post or Post.
Those restricted posts.
Yeah, well, this is restricted too. This is a restricted one. It's just, you know, that was their first project.
Right.
First project.
Oh,
So, yeah, set those up. Somebody lost
that was before 2018, wasn't it? That was just a different project.
That was, yeah, but Holy Cross still had this enhancement fund established for this.
Rick knows it all, I love it. I know.
Hang around.
I have no clue.
Yeah. Well, you know, we got a lot of activity out there with Run Floor Club and a bunch of other stuff. It's great, yeah. So anyway, was there a motion?
Mayor, I move that the town council adopt resolution number 49, series of 2024.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Pam, please call the roll.
All right. Let's begin with Hannah Berman,
Yes.
Angela Anderson,
Yes.
Rick Stevens,
Yes.
and Ryan Slack.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
We are on landmark speed here. Really appreciate everyone working hard on this. Okay, we're gonna move on to 7D, first reading of ordinance number 24, series of 2024. An ordinance of the town council of the town of Basalt, Colorado, amending the 2024 budget and providing for a supplemental appropriation related to various revenues and expenditures. The floor is yours, Dave.
All right, well, thank you. This is it's the first reading, as we mentioned, in this ordinance of amending the budget for the general fund, the restricted fund, the construction fund, and the water fund. And really, if you go to this, James, if you could go to the Exhibit A, where I list out and delineate the various items of revenue. Really most of this is truing up revenue for the year. I looked at the ledger like today, and we're like within $200,000 of making our budget before doing any sort of amendment. So we're really taking in much more revenue and increasing our budget for revenue. And looking at our property taxes, we're already over. I think I mentioned this when we were doing our quarterly review last meeting, that we were pacing ahead of revenue. So nonetheless, so a lot of this is just truing up our revenues to actuals. Where the $500,000 we're actually moving. This is the general fund. We were going to be tapping the general fund to finish off the Midland project. It was $500,000 we're holding to next year. So we're reducing revenue, or reducing the expense rather. It's a contra revenue account for that, for $500,000. And it goes right to the construction fund. So it's a push to the aggregate number. But that was one of the items that were listed, the transfers in and out. The other, probably the item of note to of significance is the park dedication fees. We're reducing that about $250,000. That was an ordinance passed years ago that was based upon, when new construction is developed, it's depending upon the type of construction and how many occupants are actually in the facility, or actually the finished product. And looking at, when we were doing the budget last year, we had different sets of assumptions on what that BC project would look like. So now we have a clearer understanding of what the occupancy of it is, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3, et cetera, that we were able to fine tune the actual park dedication fees. So it was overstated, just not to belabor the point. And then we're just now reducing that for this year. We're looking still to have that permit pulled this year, 2024, and feel like it's close. And that should be a nice little, and all the numbers that we're looking at are in the amended budget assumes that permit's pulled in 2024. And so so you're looking on the revenue side, you'll see that I'm also reducing some of the tap fees and surcharges for the water tank for the water fund, but not a significant amount of money. The main thing is that the revenue is going up in the general fund. And then looking at expenditures, I added a tad to events for some of the holiday activity going on. I also reduced the budget for the Public Works fleet replacement. That's vehicle isn't going to be delivered in 2024, so we're moving it to 2025. Likewise, we have some other projects for the streets, and then the Cody Lane mini roundabout that actually hasn't happened yet. We're moving that to 2025 as well. And just moving through the rest of the expenditures, the Stotts Mill construction, I had that actually being completed in 2024. It's not. These are the duplexes that we're actually building over in Stotts Mill. That contractor was like $2 million. And we have not all of that we're going to be expending this year. So I'm rolling that into 2025 as well. And then we're also underspent in post and some other capital items, and as well as tobacco expenditures. So we're underspent in some of the areas. And I think the headline here is that, at least with respect to the general fund, here's the headline, is that we started the year showing a use of funds of like $1.5 million. So we were in the red by $1.5 million. Now we're in the black by $100,000. So we moved the needle to the town's benefit by about $1.6 million, just with the general fund. Likewise, with the restricted fund, we had showed a use of funds of about $1.7 million. Looks like now it's going to be $1.2 million. And that actually could even be, we could actually probably beat that. My guess is we probably will, but there's a lot of things still coming through in December that haven't been paid for. So, and we have a beat on that by about $430,000. And then we also beat our construction fund by just deferring some of that Stotts Mill construction into 2025. So the net is that we had a pretty good beat here, $3 million of take all of our funds across the board, from general fund all the way to the water. We exceeded our budget by about $3 million. Okay, so I think that's I'll bury the headline. So a lot of this is just truing up the revenue numbers and combing out some of our savings on expenses.
But then some of that beat too is just transferred to next year, right?
It is, mainly on the expenses, correct,
Yeah,
right.
but still, I mean, it's so amazing I hope you can find millions of dollars next year too.
Yeah, right.
So it's a great way to go into 2025.
Right.
With a lot of dry powder and.
Yeah, we're going to be adding, I think like the reserves, I think we're going to end the general fund's going to have, I think, $12.5 million of total. Now, some of that's restricted for Tabor Reserve, and there's also money that we have for our reserve policy. But nonetheless, it's a nice little amount of money to have, considering all the other things that we have planned in our 3 to 5 year capital plan. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So-
Any comments? Are you done? Sorry.
Yeah.
Doug, I read an article in the Daily News, I think it was, about the Pickett County $8.6 billion property tax that was passed. And it went on and on and on about partnering with different entities and governments and nonprofits and so on, buying land. Are you anticipating, is somebody tracking that activity up there? And are we anticipating anybody coming down here next year and asking for, you know, a donation, a piece of the action, or are we seeing that?
Oh, I just saw the article today. Is that
Maybe
what
it
you're
was today,
referencing?
yeah.
Yeah, the affordable housing, yeah.
Right.
I mean, they've got, I think what they, to answer your question, the short answer is I don't know. If anyone's gonna come down or not. I think if anyone's gonna be asking, it would be us asking them versus the other way around. Because they have a funding source. We had a funding source for affordable housing. It was in the bond offering. And we're using that to construct our own homes for our staff and the people in town. And we have 14 units, and by the time we close on the BCC properties and construct the Stotts Mills, I mean, we're gonna be up to 22, 23. So we've got a pretty good ratio of an increase. I mean, it doesn't compare to the scale that Pitkin County has, but it's also we don't have the same type of resources that they are dealing with.
Well, we have 5 affordable housing projects in the pipeline too.
We do, we have.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because they were showing 12 million in expenses and 8.6 revenues. Then they started to explain where all this 4 million, the other 4 million was going to come from. And it just caught my attention.
Yeah.
I think it's worth paying attention to. at least.
Yeah, and I saw that, it was in the paper today. I mean, you saw where they had the number penciled out for 2025, but they didn't have anything penciled out from 26 through, I mean, that tax is for the next 25 years. So
Right.
that's a lot of money that would be rolling through year after year, you know. Seems like they would have enough. But, you know, I mean, I don't know. You always had the disease of more, right? So people want more. So that's what you got. So I don't know if I answered your question or not, but.
Yeah, no, you did. I just like watching it. They have Phillips. It's a $40 million project to rehab that place. So it'll be interesting to see how they move forward with that.
Mayor, I move that the town council approve ordinance number 24, series of 2024 on first reading and set the public hearing and second reading for December 10th, 2024.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Pam, please call the roll.
Okay, let's begin with Rick Stevens,
Yep.
Ryan Slack,
Yes.
Hannah Berman,
Yes.
Angela Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you, Angela. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Guys, I mean, I wish I could do something more fun, but I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Lieutenant Munch, thank you. I've seen the police parking on 82. I think it's helpful. I think it's especially with this craziness in weather and people, so thank you. I don't know if that's a new thing, but it's nice to see you guys. I always see that. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else? Happy Thanksgiving, all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ken. Cool.